Hi there, it's Lori. Do you have a lot of books? I do. I'm surrounded by books. And I've decided that I'm going to do something with them. They're old books. A lot of them are in disrepair. Some of them covers that I like, some of them that I want to paint. Yeah, here's a few things I'm going to do with them. This cover I painted with some acrylic paint and added a die cut from book pages. I'll show you more later, and I'll show you what I'm going to be doing with it. And I couldn't keep the inside pages. They were in disrepair, but the cover was still good. And I didn't like the color, so that's why I painted it. These book pages, the cover was falling apart, so I decided to use the book pages and glue them together, 3 or 4 together, and they become stiff then. And then I used a metallic acrylic paint over top. It was really cool. I embossed some, I die cut some, just playing with these old book pages. Do you have lots of books? When we moved from one country to another, half the weight of our move was in books. So I do love books. And I'm not pulling apart ones willy-nilly. Rather, they've been on my bookcase or my parents-in-law bookcase for a long time. And I know that they would just go in the landfill if I gave them away. So I thought, let's make them into something useful. And I started by gluing stuff together and die cutting them out. So much so that I have an entire box full gold painted things and that blue metallic color. And I'll be using them in these altered books that you see sitting on the desk. So, yeah, die cuts. And putting them into books. Now this cover was good. The pages inside weren't, so I just put in one signature. And I'm making this into a book for someone special. And it's about knowing certain scriptures. Yeah, there's another controversial thing, right? You have an old Bible. This one was one from the Canadian system where they would give the children the Gideon Bible. What do you do when they're falling apart like that? So I decided I'm going to use the pages and make a special gift for someone. You're going to see that in videos in the future of what I'm doing. So sometimes you can keep the cover. You can make it so you like it. Paint it or cover it or whatever you need to do. This is another book. It's from 1964, the year I was born, so 60 years ago, and it was discarded in our little library, and she was going to get rid of it in the landfill. And I thought, no, I'm sure I can find something to do with it. And many of the pictures were outdated, and of course the information, yeah, it's 60 years old. So I altered the pages, and I'm going to cover them up with parts of the paper and write on them. And we often collect sayings or statements or things that are important to us, and we might leave them on our phone, but maybe writing them down in a book like this, an altered book, so that someday someone can, whether it's our grandchildren or whether it's a neighbor or whatever, they can find value in it. You're going to see what I did to the cover of that book at the end. I have some pictures. Now here's another book. It's beautiful, but I'm not going to ever use the information in it, and it was set to discard. So I created an altered place to write. Still enjoying the pictures of those wreaths, but now it's going to be a place for thoughts and special words and quotes, and I'm not sure quite yet. I'll make another video about what I do in that book too. So take a look at the books that are on your shelves that you're not going to read again, and yet they have a special place in your heart. And ask yourself, as a person who likes art and junk journaling, and I use that term loosely because obviously books aren't junk. How can you repurpose it so that it becomes relevant, that it becomes even more of a treasure? That's going to be my next foray into what we loosely call junk journaling. And I'll be adding, it's got a nice cover. This one I didn't have to paint. I like the color a lot of the cover, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it right now. I'm just protecting it with the cover or the dust jacket. Yeah, that was the Reader's Digest thing that fell apart. So I used all the pages from the Reader's Digest book pages to, and I have another one here. I'll probably do the same for this one because the cover isn't specifically beautiful, but the pages are useful. Yeah. And then you have an old book that somebody left at the library as a gift, and she was going to throw it away, and I get it, I do. You have hymn books. The songs are precious. Other things, what can you do with hymns? I have some ideas on that. And encyclopedias. That the information, is it valued or valid at this point? I don't know. But we still can do something with it so that it becomes a precious place holder of information. So this is the first book that I worked on, and I'm almost done it now. And yeah, it'll have scripture reference in it. And this is the one book that I did change the inside. I covered it with gesso, and then I painted it with a beigey paint. This is just the gesso. So stick around, and the next video will be working on that book. Take care. It's Lori. Bye for now.